Wow. That's brilliant. Where can people read more of your work?
That's Laurie from Finsbury Park. And yes, she was absolutely brilliant. And I can imagine a Substack being a very good read as well. Well, she rung up the James O'Brien show on Monday, if I remember rightly, where they were talking about the latest Epstein files, and what she had to say. There were certain things I had not even considered myself.
So what I was calling to say is I wanted to zoom in on something that you said a few minutes earlier, when you brought up Henry VIII, and you said that, you know, maybe are women surprised by this? Is this on some level what men are like? And that made my hair stand on, because that is a sentiment that I've heard again and again over years of researching this, talking to hundreds and hundreds of men about this, and that, I think, that suspicion, which is very, very natural, it runs sort of subcutaneous under all these assumptions, the idea that maybe this is just, there's something in men that does this. That is the point. The point is to create a sort of complicity, to make men of whatever social standing feel that they have more in common with the monsters who are doing this than they do with the victims. And actually, most men in the world have more in common with the victims of Epstein and Musk and Donald Trump than they do with the perpetrators.
Just for legal reasons, Trump is the focus of allegations, and Musk is not accused of anything other than wanting to party with Jeffrey Epstein on his island. So I understand what you're saying, but we do need to be careful.
Of course. But yeah, this what I'm saying is
I understand what you're saying. Is that deliberate then? Because I sit here, first of all, taking the mickey out of men who signed up for the not all men thing. And then as soon as you started down this conversation, down this point, I found myself thinking, but I know I'm not like that. But this is what you were addressing. It's why, for once, it's a good job I stayed quiet and let you make your point. Is it deliberate? I mean, is it part of the process of almost gaslighting populations to make men think that this is how men behave when it isn't?
I think complicity is an incredibly powerful political tool, and you saw that with Me Too. You saw that around Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
And you see that with this. I think complicity, the idea that you give people something in common, something to defend, an idea, and it's shame. It's complicity and it's shame. And but you also brought up the that awful quote just before the 2016 election. You know, you grab them by whatever you like. But actually, the bit of that quote that people miss out now, the bit that shocked everyone, was when you're a star, they let you do it. And and I think the world at that point divided into people who thought, people who thought that, there's no way he could possibly get elected now, and people who voted for him, not despite it, but because of it. Yeah. People who heard that and thought, well, that's the kind of guy we want. That's the kind of guy I'd like to have something in common with. That's what power is. You can do whatever you want, and you'll never be held accountable. I think that's what it's about.
Why do women vote for him?
There have always been women who have sided with patriarchy and voted for power and picked power above solidarity with other women. Sometimes, that's the safe thing to do. Sometimes that's what seems sensible. And there are right-wing women right now. There have been women involved in every far-right movement in history. That doesn't mean that it's not a tool of patriarchy. You see what I mean? So
I do see what you mean. And briefly, because I'm going to be late for the news, and I don't think I'm going to apologise for this question, but it might be a little bit glib. Why has the world not stopped?
I think the world has not stopped because we're still deciding whether or not this is a moral event horizon. There is an idea out there that some men are simply too big to fail.
Yeah.
And I think culture is deciding, again, like whether or not a bank is too big to fail. Can we take the hit?
Wow. That's brilliant. Where can people read more of your work?
Oh, I'm on Substack at the moment, sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. Do you want to push people in that direction? Or not? You don't have to.
No, thank you. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's what I'd like to. Will you stay on the line and tell Johnny so that I can read more of it as well? I don't know that any man has ever turned down the opportunity to have a free boost of their thoughts and works on this program. Make of that what you will, Laurie. And I hope you don't mind me pointing it out, but you're obviously brilliant. I mean, that was an insight of extraordinary power, just that we're waiting to see whether or not it's an event horizon. And if it isn't, what do we do? I
certainly don't know what the answer is either, but when Laurie said that basically the reason why the world had not stopped, as well as the what men are like line being created by design, so to speak, these are things I'd not really considered before, but will say they did make perfect sense to me now. But what do you guys think? Is Laurie right? Was Laurie absolutely brilliant? Let me know down below and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.